the SUV that I've wanted for so long. I love and appreciate these things with probably every ounce of my heart. This is the 2017 Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT. Now it's no Trackhawk and it's obviously a little bit better than the SRT 8 generation, but the SRT is no joke. This thing is a 6.2 liter V8 engine. It's got pure MOPAR power, and it also has the crazy development from SRT themselves, including tons of performance gauges, tons of different SRT modes within this Jeep, and I'm really excited to dive into this one. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to HBI Auto. My name is Kendall, for those that don't know me. You're probably wondering, like, why is a Jeep one of your favorite? I don't know why, but I just love them. I learned to drive, and one of my first cars was a 2006 Grand Cherokee Overland Edition. I love that thing until the transmission decided to get rid of itself. But other than that, it's been a great ride. I've always loved the looks of these things. I've always loved how they're driven, and I just love the power. Now, my ultimate family SUV dream car is probably a Trackhawk, and it probably always will be, because I just love that pure V8 power. I love that American muscle. I don't know why, but that's just like, for someone who really loves German and Porsche cars, I love the SRT. I love Jeeps, and it's just, I'm really excited to dive into this one. Let's go ahead and get started. So starting off with the interior, a lot of you, if you have driven a MOPAR vehicle before, you're going to instantly recognize this entire interior is just like a Challenger or a Charger. It all looks so familiar, and it's crazy to me to hop into this thing after driving so many different Challengers and Chargers to really see how similar these things are, especially when it comes to the SRT. The street racing technology is so similar, but that can always be a good and a bad thing. But let's dive into this. So you've got a full black leather interior. You've got tons of hints of carbon fiber in here. This is a heated slash ventilated steering wheel, which is really nice, especially if you are taking this for a daily drive. In the winter, you can really warm up your hands pretty quickly. You got a pretty simple gauge display right here. It's not digital, except for a few things that are on here are digital, but overall pretty simple layout from MOPAR. Now moving into the center console area, one of the craziest features that I have loved about these, especially discovering them in the other Charger and Challengers that I've had on this channel, you have the SRT performance pages. Now this probably is one of my favorite pages. It's the engine page, and it shows you live horsepower, live miles per hour, and live torque. So if you're going like 50 miles per hour, it'll show you how much horsepower that matches. You got your oil temp, your coolant, and your oil pressure on this gauge page. And then you have your battery voltage, your intake air temperature, and then your trans temperature, which is actually a unique one. You got your gear selector right here. You do have two couplers right there. You got your USB, you got an SD card reader right there, and then you have your auxiliary hookup right there, as well as your 12 volt right there. Now moving down here, you have your launch control button, and then you also have your different driving modes. So from track, sport, auto, snow, and tow mode, you got tons of different options for what your purpose is, depending on what your purpose is for this SRT. You've got your SRT mode right there, and then you have your custom mode right there. Now looking at these seats, if you've driven a Challenger or a Charger, you'll recognize these seats. They are so similar. They're so comfortable. I love how squishy these seats are, and I've always really loved them. They are heated and cooled as well, for those that are wondering. But the sad part is that I don't think I can find a button for it, but you have to just go within the screen to find it, which is kind of annoying, kind of an irritant for me. And I myself have tons of good room in here. I've got tons of I got more cup holders on the side. I've got tons of room, headroom, space to move around. I think this is a really, really good family SUV. I think it's a really good, if you want to tow something with this, or you want to go to the track, or you want to go on a road trip. I think you've got tons of options and capabilities with the SRT Jeep. I love this. I'm so excited. You do have an automatic liftgate with the key, or you can just kind of lightly tap on the button back there. But tons of room back here in the trunk space. I really like this. I love this kind of, it's almost like a rubber mat. Really smart idea, because this is a carpet trunk right here. I'd want to protect this, and also this just provides a really good grip for whatever you decide to put back here. Again, tons of just good room in here. I love Jeep for that reason. So this is the exterior of the 2017 Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT. Very clean. It's a full black on black, except for the wheels. You do have a silver, looks like a 5 Y-spoke wheel on there. So not too bad, really sporty. I just, again, love how these things look. Ever since they came out with kind of the new generation of Jeep Grand Cherokees, I just love how they look. I think they've always looked really good. and they're just, I don't know, some of my favorite SUVs to look at in my opinion. These are 295/40/20s in the front, and then on the back you do have, again, 295/40/20. So it's a square setup. So this is the 6.4 liter Hemi engine. You can see you have an AFE power intake right here that adds a little bit more cooler air to this powerful V8 engine. Again, love how this thing sounds. I love how it looks, and it's just very clean in here. It's very simple. So this is a 475 to the wheel all-wheel drive system, so it's not the fastest thing, and it definitely weighs a ton. Now this thing weighs about, it does weigh a lot. It weighs about 5,000 pounds, which is actually 2,000 pounds less than the SVR, which it's kind of odd to think about, because you think just looking at this thing it would be a lot heavier, but because it is a track SUV and it does see the drag strip a little bit more than probably an SVR, you're gonna have to reduce the weight where you can. But the towing capacity is pretty impressive. You get about 7,000 pounds with your towing capacity, so it's not too bad at all, in my opinion. That's good for maybe a boat or like a couple jet skis. As far as your miles per gallon though, in the city you're gonna experience about 13 miles per gallon, and then on the highway it's about 19 miles per gallon. So if you do plan on having this as a daily driver, you might wanna keep in mind the gas that this thing is going to take and require. Some overall final thoughts on the SRT, I really like it. I wish it had more power. I know that the Trackhawk in later generations, it definitely has more power. It's about 700 to the wheel, but 475, it just seems kind of slow. Like they couldn't crank that out to be a little bit more like 520-ish. I don't know, but that's just me complaining at this point. Overall, great driving experience. I think if you really like American domestic cars and you really like Hemi engines for that matter, definitely check out the SRT Jeep Grand Cherokee. I think it's just a great family SUV, especially for those who like the American muscle kind of vibe and kind of scene. But if you're interested in this one, I've left the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys later.